4. Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we talk about 3 or 4 interesting tech topics in the news, give you a fun library fact, and send you on your way in about 20 minutes each week. As always, if you have any ideas for the show, you can always reach us at creationsstation@broward.org. Today, I have Miss Victoria with me. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you.
So, Victoria, you're out at Pembroke Pines now, right? Walter C.
I
Young?
am. Yes.
Okay. And you guys are reopened?
We're not reopened yet. We're going to
Oh,
reopen
okay.
after Christmas. The current plan is December 27th.
Okay, that's what I didn't have right on my notes here. Of which day was it? It's the wrong month I had. So, um, so where are you hanging out now that
I'm
you're not out there?
yeah, I'm hanging out at Lauder Hill Central Park, which is a lot further to drive for me, but such a great team there. So, and it's a beautiful building for anybody who hasn't been to that location. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Did you get a chance to sneak out back and see any of the cricket matches?
No, I haven't seen anything fun yet.
Oh, man. We have a library right next to a cricket stadium, people. So it's a great place to go sometimes and sneak off to go do. At least I try and get away with that once in a while when I'm out there.
Now I will. Nobody told me about it, so I'll have to go
Yeah.
after it. Yeah.
Sometimes you can go see people out there practicing and stuff like that. So there's official cricket World Cup, totally different World Cup than what you're watching right now.
Yeah.
That matches that happen there. So
Okay.
it's great. We got a bunch of stories. We should actually share this screen so people can see what we're actually talking about here. So our first story today is all about hurricanes. And hooray, hurricane season is officially over for those of us
Yay.
in Florida. We only had 2 significant storms hit the peninsula this year, so that was a nice thing. And that's what triggered this news story for me. Was there's a new scientific paper out about how they can detect when and where there were hurricanes in the past, because it's not just the idea that we know we're getting bigger, stronger hurricanes because of climate change, but how many are we getting, and are we getting more or less based on the past? Do you know what a blue hole is, Victoria?
I don't. What is a blue hole?
So blue holes are these areas, bringing down, that are found in different tropical seas, because they're not just in the ocean; they're in a lot of different spaces. And it's basically like a sinkhole in up on land, but it's a sinkhole underwater. And so, because of that, and I'm
Wow.
gonna see if I can find the map. Nope, I scrolled right on past that, didn't I? Yes, I did. So here's an example of taking a radiocarbon date out of there and doing a core sample along the size of one of those holes to be able to see. Oops, went the wrong way again. Um, all of the different storms that hit over time. So the key ones that they've been researching, New England. It's not just Florida, folks. The Florida Gulf Coast, the Florida Keys and Belize, because we are both Belize and the Florida Keys share a lot of the similar traits. And so it's going through the Bahamas that they get the best data from, though. So that's what this picture is here.
Wow.
All the various hurricanes over the past 170 years. You can't even see Florida and the Bahamas underneath all those tracks. But so what happens with this is all of these, here's Hurricane Dorian from a few years ago that just crushed the Bahamas. All of that information is buried down in these blue holes. When the storms hit, and they can figure it out roughly within a decade or so, how strong the storm was and everything like that. So it's a really great article. Go dig into this. As always, the notes are all going to be in the show notes there for you, all the links. But going in and finding out that effectively this time 2 centuries ago, there were a lot more storms than what we're having right now. So they're trying to figure out, does this mean we're coming back up and we're going to have a new trend of a lot more storms or not? And we know they're going to be more powerful because of ocean level heat rise.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's fun. It's good scientific information to have. It's not all doom and gloom. It's
Right.
we
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. It is really interesting too, though, because it kind of makes you, I guess it gives you a little bit of perspective. But, like what you're saying, sometimes we're focused on the current trends.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking this far back. We might
Yeah.
see that,
And you can see the trend here, they're in the Bahamas. I mean, they're tracking it back to the year 600.
that's incredible.
Yeah. So they can show how many you can see those peaks and troughs of activity going by. So it's really interesting to see where some of these things were happening and potential possible future planning for
Yeah.
Florida and the East Coast of the United States. So yeah, it's really good.
That's really cool. I'm gonna do a deep dive into that.
Yeah. It took me a while to read through everything and try and figure out, okay, wait, where is this place? And start looking on Google Earth and saying, wait, okay,
Yeah.
let me pinpoint this place. How far away from home is that? Those storms are pretty big and they're gonna hit you no matter where you are. It's like,
Wow.
yeah. And another new technology thing, let me just bring up this other page here. So
I'm excited about this one.
yeah. So this researcher trained an AI chatbot on all of her middle school diaries, about 10 years worth of diaries that she input into an AI, into a chatbot, hooked up so it could learn how to use that language to speak. It just text, no voice, and then had a conversation with it.
That is so cool. Honestly, I love this.
See, I'm glad you're enthusiastic about wanting to talk to your younger self. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
You don't
I
know?
don't.
How come?
I don't know. I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm not so sure I've grown up that much. Maybe maybe it's that I don't feel like I've changed. I
That's
know I
funny.
have. You don't realize how you've changed over the years a lot of times, but I kind of wonder about that. I mean, here's a really great example here. As she's texting back and forth with the person, saying that how would you know if you're pushing the present Michelle asking, how do you know when you're pushing yourself too hard? And can you ever push yourself too hard? And the young Michelle, going with the feelings and thoughts from those diaries, was saying, if you're constantly tired and stressed, it may be time to take a step back and reevaluate your goals.
Wow. See, I think I would enjoy I do think I would enjoy having a conversation with my younger self, especially because I don't know, I hit like a milestone birthday this year and I feel like I'm getting a lot of perspective on my younger self and like the
Nice.
future. So I feel like I would enjoy, yeah, I
Hmm.
think all the things that a younger me would have stressed out about, I would just it would be a short conversation. I would say this is not worth your time.
Yeah, it's definitely you need a good chunk of data to be able to pull this off.
Mhm.
But it's really well done, and I thought it was like, in this time when everybody's basically trashing Twitter that, "Oh, it's all falling apart and there's nothing good there anymore."
Mhm.
Look what we found on here. So, always pay attention to your feeds and look at your different sources. You're gonna find something out there if you
Yes.
give it a chance. Um, I did think that it was kind of funny when it signs off and he goes, "Well, I have to go finish up my homework now, and I have a piano lesson." And
That's amazing.
yeah. Yeah. There's some good details in here just about how the interactions, how she felt talking about it with herself and things like that. And she also included some links in there
That's
to
so cool.
create your own GDP3 version of this if you've got enough data from stuff to do. So
Wow. And do you have to have a lot of,
the
in
more
order
data you have, the better.
okay.
I'm tempted to use it for a different purpose, but
Okay.
I think we'll get to the AI part of that in another
Okay.
story
Cool. Okay.
because we have a very fun article now.
Okay. Yes.
for
I mean,
how do you pee? I know this one came quirky to me, and I was like, wait a minute, really?
Mhm.
What? How hard could this be? We've had urinals out there forever. Um, and it turns out that no, the actual correct urinals, which by the way is, if you're looking at this picture, is the second from the right, not the big teardrop one, but the one that's tall and long.
That is shocking.
Yeah, yeah, and it's that is the average height that it should be hung at on a wall for the average person, and you should be able to hit it at a 30-degree angle.
Amazing.
Most men, you would hope, could figure that part of it out, though I've been in too many public bathrooms, and I know how that's just not. But the real reason behind this is that they're trying to minimize, um we're not gonna show the whole video. It's not
Mhm.
real urine, they're just using water, but still. But striving so that when the stream of liquid hits that section of the urinal, it doesn't splash back onto your pants,
Mhm.
etcetera, or shoes, etcetera. So, it's a fun thing to go read because they've done some really interesting pieces with it, and the Vanta Black, which is this super dark paint color, is actually something that when they adhered it to the urinal made the splashes go less, and that's one of the things they're still figuring out, is
Wow.
why did this particular texture of paint change how things reacted?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
I was
really
like, the story headline went by and I'm like, "Ah, ha, ha, that's kinda cute." I'm like, "Wait a minute now. Wait, there's actually more into this. Wait, I better read this this whole thing."
Yeah. And also very interesting to think that, people are really studying this seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
it's a good thing too also, I mean, they get into all sorts of ideas about how it should be made and, for recycling water and all those other things too, so, again, follow this
cool.
link in the show notes, people, it's kind of a fun, cool thing. And now we got one other one that we need to talk about. This one gets a
Okay,
little bit more complicated.
okay.
So, you know what a deep fake is.
Yes,
You think you know, right?
yes.
So tell us what you think deep fakes are.
Okay, so for my understanding, deepfakes are, oh, how to describe? Altered versions of, so they are technologically altered versions of like a voice and or a visual, right? Like an image of someone,
Mhm.
um, that is written with code or like, it's edited digitally, so it's not actually happening.
Right. Very good. That's good. No, that's a really nice, good layman's perspective thing. That's great. Because that's effectively what it is. You feed in enough information into your AI, just like our previous story with the diary entries, and now you can take that information back out and reconfigure that visual. There's a famous one out there of President Obama saying something that he did not say because they were able to synthesize the face to move exactly with the faked sound that they did out. And so a lot of people look at these things and at these deep fakes, and we've talked about them on the show before, how you have to learn, how are you going to learn to trust what you see? Does this mean live shows, live information is going to become more important than recorded stuff? Well, here's a singer in Germany who believes that you need to show people that it's not only going to be all horrible and doom and gloom, but you could do some very cool, fun things with this.
Interesting.
So she took just her voice. She didn't do her face. She did a motion capture video to go along with this for animated stuff. But she took her voice and did a deep fake of it with AI in languages she doesn't speak
Wow.
so that the AI could then sing her songs in another language to perform.
That's so interesting. Do we think this is a good
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, there we go. See, and this is why we find these stories. So it goes. She goes by the name of Holly Plus. Is the avatar, the new thing that she's created.
Okay.
Um, her name is Holly, and then Holly Plus is her created thing. So she actually used it as an example to sing. Um, let me find out. Here we go. Uh, to take Dolly Parton's song Jolene and sing that in another language that neither Dolly Parton or herself speak.
Hmm. I'm not sure if I feel like this is I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, but I'm not sure if it's really necessary because for example, like if I really wanted to see I listen to a lot of Spanish language music. If I really wanted to see, somebody like Camilo who was just singing in Spanish, I don't want to hear him singing in a different a different language. I want to hear the song that I'm used to. So that's kind of an interesting very interesting. And also who's doing the translations because translations aren't always correct on
Uh-huh. Yep. And
so
that's that whole GDP3 idea and your language models that you train your AI on. What are they going to be doing? Who are they going to be working with?
mhm,
What are they going to be doing? And now you're, like you said, now you're adding not just English, but adding in another language that you have to have trained it on and train those translations back and forth.
mhm,
I mean, we're using AI translate. There's a couple of devices you can go out and buy now that are
mhm.
pseudo universal translators.
It's so
You wear it in
interesting.
your ear and it
Mhm.
hears Spanish and puts English into your ear, or and a
Yeah.
variety of languages. It doesn't work
I
for you
mean,
to speak that language, but it works for you to listen to people. Maybe that's
that
what I
makes a
need
little
around
bit
my
more
house.
sense. That makes a little bit more sense though, but even in the context of the Spanish language, I mean, there's I don't know how many countries speak Spanish. There's that many
Yeah.
different variations of the
Dialects,
Spanish
yeah.
language. So you would have to actually, I mean, for me, I would have to put in if I was going to show it to my family members, it would have to be Cuban Spanish so
Yeah.
that that's exactly what they're hearing. So that's a really, I'm not sure if I care enough about the idea to that I'm like feel strongly about it one way or the other, but it is an interesting.
So here's the twist that they don't
Okay.
mention so much in the articles. If you are an artist and you use AI to create a piece of art, of physical art, or to write a computer program, you cannot copyright that because the AI created it. The AI does not get the copyright. You get the right to use your AI and you get the right to the results of your AI, but you get it, not your AI
Mm,
can't do it on its own.
mhm. Okay.
So if I take this, there's tons of songs by Dolly Parton out there.
Mhm.
I take Dolly Parton's information, use it, feed it into this, and I create a new song using Dolly Parton's voice, but I've created it.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Talk about deep, deep, deep fakes.
Like, yeah, that's going down a deep, deep rabbit hole.
The world has
Wow,
changed.
definitely.
Yeah. See, this is
Definitely.
why we bring these stories up. See, I can see those wheels turning now. You're like, wait a minute.
I know, I'm gonna really have to think about this because that's very interesting. I remember the last time I was on here, I think we talked about ABBA doing their holographic,
Hmm. Yeah,
tour.
last year. Yeah, when they started that tour last year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be really crazy to see exactly how this all winds up with us.
Mhm.
We flew through a whole hour already, through the whole 20 minutes already here.
No, it's crazy. You
I
picked
know,
great
I know.
stories.
We did
Thank
this.
you.
Thanks, thanks. So what's going on with you guys out there? You said you're out there. How are people getting a hold of their materials if they can't get to Pembroke Pines?
So if you can't get to Pines, I believe, in the beginning, because we've been closed now for several weeks, um, they redirected to either the branch of your choice or to, I want to say it was Miramar. But now, holds can't be placed
Right.
for pickup at PE. So, but we've got Miramar close by and we've got Southwest Regional close by. So there's tons of options. South Regional, if you're in that area as well. All of those are very close to us.
And how about the idea of events going on? What's going on for your grand reopening? Do you know yet?
I do not know, actually. No, I don't know. I can't wait to find
No,
out.
and sometimes we don't. Yeah, I mean, I know
Yeah,
that there's got to be something going on, but I, yeah, we. This is why I always ask because there's so much stuff going on in the library system. Nobody can
yeah,
keep track. Broward.org/library/events will get you to find, and you'll go discover how many thousands of events we do a month around this county.
so
Yeah,
many.
it is just craziness.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on when you're not even at work, Miss Victoria. Let me throw up our final slide here really quick.
Okay.
If there is a branch or a librarian you'd like to see featured on the show one week, let us know. CreationStation at broward.org. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.